of Chanel's crazy price increases, a lot of us, myself included, have, decided whether it's because we can't afford or maybe, just don't think we want to spend that amount of money on a bag. We decided that there are quite a few bags that we're probably not going to be purchasing new from the boutique anymore. But with that in mind, I did just want to cover some of the bags that I do still think, relatively speaking for Hermes, are a pretty decent price and they're still kind of worth the money being charged. So that way you don't feel so limited. So that way you don't feel like you have to cut Chanel off if you're someone that still wants to shop there. There are still a lot of great bags out there that you can buy. So let's talk about them. Now, the first bag that we are going to talk about is the one that I have talked about time and time again on my channel that I think it is currently a really good value for money. Now, I do still think that Chanel is going to continue to increase the price of this bag as they have been. So I do think at some point it is going to hit classic flat prices, especially due to the demand. But right now, again, relatively speaking, in the world of like luxury and Chanel, the Chanel 19 is such a good deal. I use the term deal again, like very lightly, all things considered. A few years ago, it would not be a deal, but right now it is. So the Chanel 19 is so popular, and you can get a really big Chanel 19, like you can get a maxi size for under $7,000. I believe it's $6,900. So that is such a good price for Chanel 19s. And also, I mean, you can get a medium for $6,300. So I think the Chanel 19 in general is a really good value for money, especially for those of us that like bigger bags, whether you're a person on the go and you like to carry a lot of stuff with you, or if you're a career woman. But it's also good to keep in mind that bigger bags are coming back into style. And so being able to get a big bag at a lower price point is a really smart investment option right now. Again, I use the term investment lightly. So I think this is a good one. Also, for the Chanel 19, it's funny because I've said this before, I don't think I am trendy enough to really carry like a Chanel 19 bag. It's just got too many cool elements on it that I don't think I can pull off, but I do really like their wallet on chain. And I think the Chanel 19 wallet on chain is really substantial. Like the CC on the front is really nice, luscious and thick. The chain is thick, it's really weighty, like it's got some gravity behind it. So maybe if like the Chanel 19 in the medium or the maxi size is too big, definitely take a look at their wallet on chain, which is like in the $3,000 price point. So a really good option. And on that note, the next one that I think is still a really good value for money is the beloved wallet on chain, regardless of the style. It can be the Chanel 19, it can be the classic style, it can be the boy style that I have here. This bag is such a workhorse. I mean, depending on the style like that you get, if you get a classic one, you can wear it in every situation. You can wear it out to brunch, you can wear it out shopping, you can wear it on dates, you can wear it out traveling, like you can wear it in any situation. And I think also kind of the same situation with like the boy version and the Chanel 19 version, and they also have a lot of great seasonal versions. And this bag is right around $3,000. Now, some of their specialty versions can go, up to like $35,000, maybe $4,000. But again, relatively speaking, it's a really good deal. And also, I love the fact that the wallet on chain is still available in caviar leather. I think one of the frustrations that a lot of us have with Chanel is that they're no longer doing certain bags that we really like in caviar leather. And there's a lot of us out there, myself included, that love caviar because it's so durable. It keeps well for years and years and years. And so, I mean, I got this bag last year and the caviar leather, like seriously, nothing has happened to it. And so the fact that you can still get wallets on chain and caviar leather, I think also makes them a really good investment option for like the long term, because they will keep really nicely and the leather will still look beautiful and luscious like decades from now. Now, next up on the list are actually two different types of bags that, even though they're from different lines, I still think they kind of serve the same needs in terms of like Chanel bags. So I'm just gonna kind of lump them together. The first of the two is the mini classic flap. So I know it's not technically a classic flap, but it's got all the same attributes basically as a classic flap in either the square size or the mini size. And then also a mini reissue. I'm putting all of those bags together because right now they cost anywhere from like $4,000 to like $4,400, $4,500. Some of the seasonal variations might cost a little bit more, a little bit less. But in general, That's about what one of these mini flat bags, whether it's the classic style or the reissue style, costs right now. And it's such a good value for money because honestly, these bags are such workhorses. They can fit so much in them relative to like their other counterparts, especially in the classic flap. So if you take a look at the mini classic flap, which right now, I think the mini rectangle, I believe at the time of filming is $4,400. It ended up not getting hit by the November price increase. It still might get a price increase. I've heard rumors of that, but I'm not sure. Right now it's $4,400. So this bag, the differences that make it different than a classic flap, I actually think one of them makes it a little bit better. So the first difference that I don't think makes it better is that it only has one set of grommets in the top compared to a classic flap that actually has two. So it's much easier to double up the chain on a typical classic flap than it is from a mini flap. You can still do it with a mini flap, but you have to get creative, and like I'll just kind of do it as I talk. I have to kind of like pull the strap around and do it like this. You get the general idea? And so, I mean, this looks fine, but I don't think it looks great having this bit outside. And also, I would say I would never leave a bag like this because you could end up damaging the side like this. I would only, you know, wear it like this, and then I would immediately like undo it once I'm going to like put it away for the day. But the other great thing about a mini classic flap is that it doesn't have the double flap on the inside. There's nothing getting in the way here. And for those of you that aren't familiar, I'll show you what I'm talking about in terms of like a small classic flap. The small classic flap has a double flap, so it's got two sets of flaps in here, which is really cute in theory, but not so great in terms of practicality because these two bags actually end up fitting a very similar amount of stuff. You can squeeze a couple extra things in here, like a few extra like lipsticks and all that, but not enough to justify the crazy price differences right now, where this bag is over $8,000 and this bag is like $4,000. So relatively speaking, if you've been jonesing to get a classic flap, I really suggest you try and get a mini. Now, a lot of you all know that minis, depending on your market, depending on your geography, can actually be quite hard to get. A lot of people like them because small bags have been in for a long time. They're quite cute and they're a good price point. So in certain markets, they are saved a little bit for like their more like VIP, their luxury customers. I know that's the case here in my San Francisco boutique, but a lot of you all have also told me stories that you've like never bought anything from Chanel before, walked into your local boutique and got a mini. So that's definitely not the case in every single boutique, but for certain boutiques, like minis can be harder to get. So just don't expect to be able to like walk in and get one right away. The demand for minis definitely outweighs like that of like a classic flap. So, you know, these are much easier to get than these are. And finally, the last bag that I still think is a great price is the Dovie or the Deauville tote, depending on how you want to say it. Listen, like I am not French, so I am embarrassed by my awful pronunciation. But the Deauville tote is such a good value. I mean, it comes in so many different colorways, right? It's also an iconic Chanel bag. Like when you see it, you know it. You've seen it in movies, you've seen celebrities wearing it. It's such a great bag, and it is also a workhorse. And also because bigger bags are starting to come back into style, this one is such a good value. I seriously suggest if you do not have like a big tote bag in your closet, like if you don't have like a book tote or something that's like your big workhorse for like traveling and all that, definitely think about the Deauville tote. They have it in a couple different sizes, and like I said, they always have it in different materials, different fabrics. Like I told you all, I am in love with like the ivory on white version from the 22C Cruise collection. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I think it's a really good bag that you can fit a ton in, and that right now isn't getting nearly as much demand as the classic flaps, the Chanel 19s, you know, any type of mini bag, things like that. So if you want a bag that like you can walk into the store and buy on that day, definitely take a look at the Deauville tote. So that wraps up the list of kind of like classic bags from Chanel that I still think are worth buying, but this is by no means an exhaustive list. Every single season, they are coming out with great seasonal bags that again, don't get nearly as much demand or attention that I think are really worth looking into. So also be looking out for like their seasonal collections to see what types of one-off bags are coming out that you can get that you still think is a good value for money. But Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this list. Let me know if there are any other bags that you think are a good value that I didn't include on the list, and we can talk about it in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, I would love it if you could just give it a little thumbs up, just give it a little like down in the corner below. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? You need to subscribe to my channel. So that way you can get all my latest content about all things shopping, including Chanel, delivered straight to you. Thanks again for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye everyone.